தம்பி வணக்கம். Siddiqui Saab, Subhashi, Meghnaji, my friends, the faculty, students, tomorrow's moving image makers. Namaste, Vanakkam, Nandri, Shukriya. Thank you. I thank Hariji for introducing me, sometimes me to me. The only chagrin is he need not have mentioned about my birthday. I'm doing my best. This is the best acting I have done so far to look 50 or 45 or whatever I imagine I am. But anyway, the reason why we put on this act is, since it's a keynote address, let me go to the key of my survival. Writers do not write roles for older people. They always write for younger people, so we all try to look young. That's a key. And but times are changing. I mean, Amiji is a great example. So I know at least I have another 15 years ahead. And I'm very nervous. I'm very comfortable with question answers, where I'm asked questions and I get angry or happy and I answer. These keynote addresses, speaking from the podium, pontification, is something that I'm not good at. I might meander, but then you asked for it. So here I go. I'm, as Siddiqui Saab said, there's nothing much to say when the best of your mentors have spoken here. As Subhaji rightly said, please, for whatever you believe in, heaven, earth, or whatever, for that sake, do not believe that you have completed education of cinema. That would be your undoing. And fortunately, not going to school has permanently kept me in a state of apprehension and trepidation that I have to learn more. A little degree and that square hat on my head would have ruined me or spoiled me. And now I have the opportunity of learning. Whenever I'm introduced as a high school dropout, it pleases me because there are so many teachers who come up to, doesn't matter, I'll teach you a few tricks. So I learned. So being introduced as a high school dropout is much more worthy than that square hat. Not that I'm looking down or demeaning it just when you're going to receive it. But please remove that hat after you receive that honor and do not rest on it. Let it rest. I'm not being poetic here. I'm being very practical because the tools that you've learned your trade on are going to change. That fantastic 11.1 or 13.1 that you have in your college, which is enviable, because when I first saw it, I wanted it for myself, my film. And it happened thanks to Van Balen, my friend, and thanks to my naivety and the ignorance of my distributors. I said, with this, the film will collect, and they believed it. Unfortunately, it did also. But even if it hadn't, I would have brought the technology in, and that's what mattered to me. Because the tools are secondary. It's you who uses it, that's going to make it, and you can always sharpen it, make a better tool. So within 6 months, the same Van Balen is going to bring in something that will be installed in your institute hopefully, and you'll have to go back to school to know what's new. That's what I do. That's what when Hari Saab said, I'm excited every day. I'm one of the very few actors you'll find in NAB, or for that matter, I come to a Writers Association meeting, a screenplay workshop. I try to run one. It's not because I want to teach people, because I want to keep abreast of what's happening. It's a very selfish, it's nothing philanthropic about it. And the reason I came here is because I can see what are the new films you're making. I want to know what my competition is going to be tomorrow. And believe me, I have an injured leg, so making it shake is not good. And you've done it. So I'm looking forward to competing with you. It doesn't matter if either of us fail, cinema will win. I remember when my late friend Balu Mahendra, I'm very angry with him for making very less number of films. He's not here to defend himself, so I can really show my anger. I always tell him that he's not that he's lazy, he simply doesn't agree with the pontification that's laid out to him. He doesn't want to do. And that's exactly what I don't. There were a group of people, even Mr. Hariharan here, the fact that he went into teaching, because he was so angry with the existing industry. It didn't allow him to make films. Well, you should be thankful that he became angry and didn't succumb. And let me tell you a parallel of Subhashi and myself. I wanted to be only a director and never thought much about actors. I mean, I know Subhashi is one too, but still. I never thought much of actors. I thought they were tools to a purpose which is more superior. The making of a movie was more important. And I thought then, in my ignorance, that only the director was capable of that. Later, as you learn, I realized this is the most democratic art process. And there's the auteur theory and all, salam to it, but I would still think that it is a democratic process. Somebody fails you, the film will fail. It'll be almost a great film, but for the bad cinematography, but for the bad acting, but for the bad makeup or something, or the other will crop up and make it a lesser movie. And I've had that happen to me. When I thought I had a fantastic movie, and they would say that I wish you had better actors and a better cinematographer. So films have failed. In spite of the mighty me, it failed. So I have been humbled so many times into understanding that this truly is a democratic art, and probably the biggest assimilator of all arts. It's very versatile, and it's going to be people are going to stop calling it cinema. It's going to become something else. And you'll know our age when we still call it film, cinema. It's going to be just moving images, and it's going to go places. And I'd love to be left behind, leaning on my easy chair and see you gray old guys trying to make films. I hope medicine and cinema makes me live that long. And I was halfway. As I told you, I don't take notes. I'm not a great keynote address deliverer. But I was telling you, here's a man who wanted to become an actor. And he came in and took up the most difficult job. The easiest job is that of an actor, especially becoming a star. Star actor, that is. Then you really want to become an actor, you'll have to work for the money. But you're a star, you don't have to. He has seen that side of it also. He's paid stars, so he knows, through the nose, I guess. And I am a reluctant actor, but for Mr. K. Balachandra, I wouldn't be here in this podium and there wouldn't be a repertoire like that for you to see. He told me that do not entertain that idea because I see a rising star in you. I don't want you to come to studio in an auto rickshaw. You might, the way you are, you might make that kind of movie which may not run. And I don't know, he was pouring cold water on my ideas, on my fire. But I respected him a lot. I admired him a lot. He's my hero. And at 84, he still is my hero. And that's a rare feat, especially with a cocky student like me. But he has managed it. And I was just telling him, thank you, sir. I have a house. And you know why you have debts? He said, no, sir, because you are a filmmaker. So I'm not frightening you, but what I'm trying to tell you is there'll be many paths open to you. Do not be ashamed. Do not be ready to humble yourself before opportunity. I would not say fate. You can change it. I wanted to be a director. I only had to wait. I changed my fate. I became a director, and I sat with the ilk of Subhash Ghai and discussed my films. That's an honor, and I made it happen. And you can, but to make that happen, be more flexible. Ramrod straight against a storm can break a teakwood tree. Learn to be like the bamboo. I've never advised because I've never taken advice. But looking at your faces and looking at what I can get out of tomorrow from you, I think I must give you this little opinion. I would call it advice. That bend with the opportunity, make it happen. Your duty is making cinema, making moving images. And as your logo says, your banker and your auditor will tell you otherwise. But they didn't make the money. They didn't make that movie that made the money that demands tax from you now. You made it. And money, like the camera, is a tool. You need it, but it is a tool. Don't work for the camera, let the camera work for you. Don't work for the money, let the money work for you. I have, in all my dreams, I've told Subhaji that there should be an international corpus made in Whistling Woods, which will facilitate young filmmakers who come out of Whistling Woods. Not all filmmakers. At least take care of your own, and the world will take care of its own. And I want you to create that corpus that lets them do one film. Let them fight for it. Let them tear each other apart and come in as a winner. Let Darwin be right on that. Survival of the fittest. And you come and make that film which will make the Institute proud, India proud. And I hope one day that kind of a fund will happen. Who knows, I might steal a bit of that money and make a film for you. Which is actually meant for you, but I would pretend to be a student of cinema, which I am. But I pretend to be a student of Whistling Wood and come and take it. Which I would be, which I am. Today, when I watch you, I envy you. In my time, it was not a reachable goal going to a film institute. The Film Institute was there, but I didn't have the financing facility to do it. My father was very kind. He allowed me to get out of school and get into cinema, but he was not going to finance my Film Institute trip to Pune. He thought I'd never come back. So that's why he didn't. So that was a dream that didn't happen, but you are living my dream. And there are many more who wish we had that kind of education. I did have fantastic education. I'm not complaining. But what took you 3 or 4 years took me about 25 to 30 years. It was slow, but it suited my speed of assimilation. So it helped. And here I am, a filmmaker, rubbing shoulders with you. Hope to see you sometime in a film festival, either on stage, in the audience, anywhere. You're a special class. You're filmmakers. You are part of this fraternity, which makes you special. And I thank those parents in this day of monoculture where everyone wants an IT professional in their house, whatever is in fashion, and they want an engineer, a doctor. I have many engineers who do anything else other than engineering. I have a driver who's an engineer. I know a barber who's an engineer. But I know that all of you are going to be filmmakers. Somewhere in some corner or other. You may not be making film, you may not be saying start and cut, but you'll be part of films. And I thank the parents for being a visionary. You're equally a visionary as Mr. Subhashji for making this happen for your child. And I salute you too. I had a father like that. I only wish he had sent me to Pune Film Institute, which he didn't. But that doesn't matter. I don't hold it against him. But I salute your parents, and the smile will only broaden, believe me. And there will be people who will fail. I know many actors better than me who didn't make it, but they never left the film industry. They were there. They didn't make as much money as I did, but they were there. This is an all-encompassing, versatile medium. It's only growing broader in its versatility. People are going to watch. Our platforms of film watching has already changed. You were watching on that screen, I was watching on this screen. And I'm going to soon watch movies on my wristwatch. I know, some cinematographer here was gritting his teeth, but it's going to happen too. But that's dissemination that's reaching more people, more audience. I'm honored. I always wanted to be in a crowd like that. Whenever there is an opportunity to spend time with connoisseurs of cinema, makers of cinema, makers of moving images of tomorrow, I want to spend time with them. I want to claim to people that I'm related to them by blood. Thank you.